I got her a set and speakerphone too.
You got her set, or you mean Trevor got her a set?
I won a bet so that Trevor bought her a set. So technically, I did all the work.
Yeah. All right. True.
Hello, my friends.
Thank you for joining us for the PEBCAK Podcast, a weekly information security show featuring some all-around good people. It is week 6 of 2024. I'm Chris Louie and went skiing for the first time and happy to report I did not hit any trees. With me, I have my co-host, the Cloud God. When he goes skiing, trees jump out of his way.
Yes, that's not true. I can't even ski. I hit the trees harder than Sonny Bono. I think Eminem said that, right?
Or Sonny Bono.
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, I think last time you were doing your little ski trip, didn't you blow out your shoulder? So
yeah, I dislocated it last year. It was actually exactly a year ago. The last time I went up to the snow, and I dislocated and relocated my shoulder in the same event.
All right, look at you, John McClane, putting it back in the socket. But anyways, I'm glad you didn't get hurt, man.
Is that skiing or snowboarding? Skiing.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
No, he was sliding down the hill on his butt when he hurt himself last time.
Why don't you be hip and go snowboarding? I don't get it.
I tried snowboarding twice, and I determined that's probably not what I want to do for now. At least I wanted to try skiing, and the kids were skiing too.
Everyone says skiing is easier than snowboarding. I haven't done either, but
Yeah, you should. You get snow by you.
I think snowboarding is a whole lot easier than skiing. So, personally,
Yeah, to each their own.
I've got 2 left feet, and they kind of go in different directions. Whereas a snowboard, I'm tied to a single board, can't go anywhere. So,
French fry pizza. That's all you got to remember. And we have Glenn Medina, or should we call him New Kitchen Glenn, NKG.
finally done. Unbelievable. Well, actually, not finally. I still have flooring to put in, but it's pretty much done. Now it's just a matter of keeping it clean. I don't have a wait staff like Brian or Chris does, so you're looking at the cleaner too.
The dishwasher.
We don't
the new
have a wait
dishwashers,
staff.
Glenn.
That's what kids are for. My kids are gone, so.
Have you ever heard that saying, like, do you know why Glenn has such small feet? So he can stand closer to the sink.
What is this? Are we doing a dad joke at the beginning of the session?
I thought it was so you could stand closer to the toilet.
That's just rough. Thanks. Moving on to our guest. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Our guest this week is friend of the show and Glenn's favorite punching bag, Victor DeLuca.
Hey guys.
Our previously scheduled guest had a last-minute conflict and had to drop out, and Victor was kind enough to join us to fill in. So, Victor, welcome back to the show.
And hold on, I'm going to set the record straight. Sometimes I feel like Victor's punching bag here, all right? So let's get that straight.
No. You guys gang up on me. I'm the punching bag.
Glenn is just jealous of the haircut, that's all. I'm all you can never be.
He's jealous of the Lego hair.
Is that what that is? Lego hair? Is that what we're calling it these days?
That's his nickname, Lego hair.
Lego hair. Nice.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad, indeed.
So is that bike in your background just for show? Or do you actually take it out for a ride?
No, man, unlike you, I actually worked out 31 days in January, so...
Shots fired.
Right.
3 minutes into the show, shots fired.
He rides his bike to his yoga class.
That's what it is.
Right after he picks his own fresh vegetables for dinner.
His spin class.
Yeah. Exactly. And he's got a root cellar at the bottom of his complex there. So
I wish.
Combined, we have decades of information security experience in here, not just to educate, but to entertain. We've got 4 awesome stories for this week, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This week, we're going to talk about a scumbag move by HP. Who's getting swatted this time? For our third topic, the new Horizon Foundation gets sanctioned. And close with fitness talk. For our first topic, we're just going to come out swinging and talk about an article that really angered me as I was reading through it. Now, when you think about computer peripherals that make you mad, what immediately comes to mind?
My
Flashlight.
webcam. Peripherals?
Yeah, webcam. This is one vote for
Flashlight.
webcam.
Computer
One vote
peripherals?
for flashlight. Yeah,
Headgear, the headphones.
headset.
Like when it switches back and forth, that whole Apple thing pisses me off sometimes. I wish Apple would fix that, make that better.
No, it's always your printer. Printers suck.
Who uses a printer? Oh my gosh, what are we talking about here?
I just printed off something yesterday.
You
It
did?
was it took like 10 minutes, yeah. And then
But-
on top of that, it came out like gray because we haven't used it in so long. The ink cartridge was choking. the whole way.
Deech, they have video. Printing static pictures of porn is not necessarily a thing anymore.
So, as odd as that would be to print out for my daughter, I was giving her some instructions, and I felt like if I gave her both a physical copy and a text message of it, she might actually follow through. But
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure she will not do either. So
Yeah. So speaking of printing, right? This is what kind of gets me. I'm going to go off on a tangent here right now. Printers, awesome. I've got one. Kids, they print all kinds of crap to it. I don't know why, but it ends up just sitting there after they print it. I don't get it, right? And then I go through and I'm like, well, I guess I should shred it because I don't know what's on there. But paper used to be cheap. Have you guys gone and bought a ream of paper lately or a box of paper? Before, it was like maybe $16-20. You buy a box, you buy half, and they give you a rebate back. I just went the other day to look at a box of paper, which is like, I think 10 reams. It's like $50-70. It's like, what the heck's going on?
whoa, no, I did not.
I think it's like $5
Yeah.
a ream, $5 to $7 a ream. So it's
It's
like
more
a
than
penny
that
a sheet now.
Yeah, it's more than that. Definitely more than that. And so I was telling the kids, I'm like, stop printing crap if you don't need it because paper ain't cheap anymore, right? So,
Yep. Think of the environment.
yeah.
So, no, finish your thought.
And they all have iPads. So it's not like they can't digitally see what the hell they're reading, right? So it just bugs the crap out of me.
All right, I think we hit a
Did
nerve with Glenn, but
You did.
Brian and Glenn
Yeah.
are on the right track here. So the answer today is the same as it was in the 1999 cult classic movie Office Space. It's the printer, where there's an iconic scene where the three main characters beat the crap out of the printer that kept jamming them and giving them errors like PC load letter. What does that even mean?
PC load letter? What the f*** does that mean?
Well, the company Hewlett Packard is trying to find even more ways to upset its customers, and at the end of 2023, they pushed a firmware update to many of their printers that block them from using third-party or aftermarket ink. HP's business model is built to sell cheap printers, then charge high prices for the ink refills. They even have a subscription service called Instant Ink, where for a monthly fee, your printer will notify HP when you're low on ink, and they will proactively send you out new ink cartridges. If you stop paying for that monthly subscription, your printer stops working even if there's still ink in the cartridges.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah, people weren't already mad at their printers.
Who the heck buys cartridges anymore? I don't buy cartridges. I just take the printer, throw it away, and buy a new printer, and it costs just as much as an ink cartridge.
Pretty much.
I
we're
will
getting to that
say,
point.
Yeah.
I've had this. I did used to be the exact same way, Glenn, and then I bought some Epson printer, and other than we've had it since before COVID. This is the first time in my life that a printer's lasted longer than a year, and I don't know what it is, but that thing it was actually. This is the first time we went to go print something, and it was like a little sketchy. The ink wasn't as sharp as it should be, but I got my money out of that one.
I mean, I've traded out all my inkjets for laser, so but you pay the price for laser, and I went from color. I went straight to colored laser, and now I'm back to just black and white. I'm like, no, I don't need black and white print.
You have 4 toner cartridges to buy instead of 1.
What are you holding
Brother,
up there, VDL?
that's a brother cartridge right there.
Yeah, that's my brother cartridge.
Is that laser?
Yeah.
So yeah, toner cartridge, yeah.
Is
It's
it
a
toner
toner.
if it's laser?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And little story time. I used to work at Staples years and years
Get
and years
out of
ago.
here. That's awesome.
That was easy.
Yeah.
And obviously I got fired. But
Obviously.
but
And then he joined the military. So-
How'd you get fired? Tell the story.
It's a complicated story, but I got fired for essentially no reason because I was not willing to lie, and we were selling computers, and my manager did not know anything about computers or gaming or GPUs and CPUs, so she was always selling those computers, those cheap Chromebooks and those computers that are $300, $400, and the customers would come in and ask, can I play that game on this computer? And she would always say, yes, for sure you can. That thing's gonna run at like 60 FPS. No, don't worry about it. And I was like behind this person. I was like, no, that's literally impossible. That's an integrated GPU. You don't even have a dedicated GPU. You can't run Crysis 3 or whatever at Ultra, right?
Whatever it is at the time.
And,
Nice.
DJOW.
Yeah. So
I love that
she got pissed off at me.
She knows nothing about computers, but she knows it runs it at 60 FPS. That does not make any sense.
You'd be surprised. I worked at a company where the RSMs or the account managers would just parrot and repeat things that the SEs would say. Mm-hmm. And at one point, we tried to see what ridiculous things we could get the RSM to say, like, oh yeah, this device, it could do the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs for sure. And then see if they could get them to repeat that.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anyways. My story was those cartridges. We used to sell a bunch of cartridges at Staples, and one of the number one return we would get is people buying the wrong cartridges all the time. People don't know what they needed to buy, and somehow the box of the cartridges were never really clear. Like, it was so difficult to understand what you were buying. We would get returns, people bringing back their unopened cartridges almost every day. It was awful.
But
I remember,
didn't it give you a number to buy? Like, it says 51, 72, 63, whatever.
Yeah, I remember
right?
there used to be a book. Like, if you go to Office Depot or Office Max, there'd be a book, like a phone book, essentially. And you'd look up your printer model and it would say, these are all the compatible cartridges with this printer model. But I guess the thought is your average person would walk in there like, I don't know, it's an HP inkjet. I don't know what model I have.
Exactly. Exactly. They would not look at the number, so they would walk in, buy one, and be like, "Oh, I didn't know that was the one. I'll just come back the next day and
buy the next wrong one." Is that how it goes?
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got dumbass written all over you, and you deserve to go in circles on buying cartridges.
Yeah, or they would bring the number, and it's the actual serial number. It's not even the model number. So
It's like, I can't do anything with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when Victor joined the military, when no one would hire him.
Unhireable.
So what do you think? The idea that HP is going to do this to their printers, and by the way, I think they've got the market on a lot of the printer segments, right? They ended up buying like Samsung and their printer department or their org specifically. So I only know because I had that one stupid printer that wouldn't work on the new Mac M1.
I don't know if they bought a bunch. So, Canon and Brother are probably competitors.
Was it Epson that's left? But I don't see. Do you guys see this being a trend for the other manufacturers that they'll start locking this down as well?
I mean, I think so. It's definitely a revenue stream for them. That's where they make all the money. And even the HP CEO, he said the quiet part out loud. He's like, we want to make Ink a subscription because we make 20% more on subscription customers than people that just buy it when they need it.
How much longer do you think they actually get a lawsuit against them for trying to do like some antitrust stuff?
There's multiple class action lawsuits against HP right now, but
Chris is leading the way.
Yep.
Instead of apologizing for pushing the hated firmware update, HP, they actually doubled down and they said that banning third-party or aftermarket cartridges is for your own protection, Glenn. They're protecting you because they said third-party ink cartridges can have malware and viruses on them, which will infect the printer, then infect your computer or your network. And I can feel the collective audience's eyes rolling right now.
So hold on.
Very thoughtful.
Let's say this.
No printer.
Let's say this. Let's say there may be malware on this thing. Small percentage, sub 1%, right? Is anyone worried about that? Like, what's a printer going to do? Sorry, I was saying DDoSing your home network or sniffing traffic based off of the network card that's on there? What can you really do? What do you guys think?
It's like a SIM card. It has its own operating system on it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that those printers probably don't have a lot of computing power, right? Probably only like 32 megs of RAM or something. Like, I doubt that thing has any power in it.
I think it was Ars Technica actually, took HP at their word and talked to security researchers, like respected people in the field of hardware hacking, and they said at the very best case, you would have to have a nation state backed actor with unlimited resources that was very determined to target a specific individual. And then they said even then maybe they could pull this off, but for your average Joe Schmo person, your average hacker in the basement type person, like, this is not a thing. This is unrealistic.
So that nation state would be like Amazon. Sorry. Get it?
No, I would say insert the audio clip of Floyd. So you're saying there's a chance.
So they're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
That's the whole basis for this ridiculous firmware update. I guess the moral of the story is turn off auto updates on your printer and then just never let it update to that one that blocks the third-party cartridges.
I think there's going to be a point in time in which they're just going to start shipping these things out that if it doesn't update in 60 days, then it just craps out, doesn't work at all to circumvent that.
That's what ink does anyway. Like, I've had ink that was like sat on a shelf for a year and you go to use it and it was dry.
Just dries up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's stuff that drove me mad.
Got to clean the print heads, Glenn.
Yep.
You got time for that. I barely used the damn thing to begin with. Who's going to remember to clean the print heads? They should be clean. I haven't used them in forever. So
yeah, this is every 10 years when you go to renew your passport. You're like, damn it, got to print something again.
Yeah. I see Victor highlighted something in my notes here. HP funded a bug bounty program through BugCrowd that specifically focused on ink cartridge malware. So they were basically hiring people to create a problem that doesn't exist, to say that yes, you can spread malware using these ink cartridges. And the parallel here was that, remember, a couple of years ago, ExxonMobil was funding like anti-global warming research to say if anyone can prove that global warming is fake, then we'll give you like $100K bounty or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's lobbying at its finest, in my opinion. They're using cyber to scare people off, which is not the right way of doing it, in my opinion.
That's like what's in vogue right now. Everyone's worried about their companies getting infected and malware, and surprised they didn't throw in some scary words like ransomware or anything, but they said, these cartridges could have viruses on them.
Can you imagine? Or the cartridges could have Bitcoin. You could just be sitting on a gold mine. You never know.
It could be mining for you.
If we're going to be in the land of make-believe, let's shoot for the stars.
So are you selling, Brian, or are you hodling?
At the moment, I'm up, so I think I'm going to hodl for a little bit longer. But hey, going back to Glenn's first statement of printing off some adult content. If we want to go
stuck on that.
Well, no, like it's an interesting story.
Come back now, 5 minutes later.
Well, no, like on that whole like analog adult content front, there was a point in time in which I submitted an ungodly amount of written stories to a particular publisher at one point in time, hoping to get published.
Dear Penthouse, this is my first time. I've never done this before.
Yeah, but the reason why is because me and a friend, like, we were always like trying to one up each other on making stuff super weird. So long story short, like, I knew he liked, like, I think it was called Penthouse Forums or something like that. I think that was the name of it. And my goal was, if I can get a story written in there and then sign it with my name, he would think about my face while he's holding his junk. So anyways, it ended up working. He was deployed in Iraq and he was reading it. And then I got an email. He's like, you son of a B word. Like, it was probably the best thing I've ever done as a prank, other than
crown jewel of your achievements.
It's funny.
There was a lot of work went into that, but yeah.
He must have been crying in that porta potty.
Yeah, right. He's all sweating. He's like, geez, freaking Brian.
There's a lot to unpack there. I don't know if we want to unpack it on the show, but we'll definitely unpack this in the group chat later.
Yeah. It's Glenn's fault for bringing it up.
It's true. Anyways, the last thing I'll say about this is I think I speak for the entire world here when we want to channel our inner Elon Musk and tell the HP CEO to go F yourself. Don't do this to people.
Ooh. Almost dropped the F-bomb. I like it. You should just insert the actual audio from Elon.
From Elon, yeah.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail you with money, go f*** yourself. Go f*** yourself. Is that clear?
For our second topic, this will be our ransomware story of the week. It combines two topics we've covered on the podcast before. Ransomware is not new. It's been around forever, but the way ransomware actors are coercing their victims to pay has been evolving. After all, if the victim does not pay, the ransomware gangs do all that work for nothing. We've had ransomware crews threaten to release embarrassing information. They've filed reports with our SEC to try to get companies in trouble. They've called actual customers of the victims to tell them to convince them to pay, even going so far as to call the patients of a mental health facility threatening to release their highly sensitive records unless they paid up.
Are these patients that left the mental hospital? Do you think they actually care when they're in there?
That are under their care or have been under their care at one point or another. I think this was Norway, I believe.
They've been dismissed.
That's where it happened. Just when you thought ransomware groups couldn't sink any further, they are now threatening to SWAT people found in the stolen records. Now, what is swatting? That's when an attacker calls the police station in the victim's area claiming a violent crime is taking place to get that police department to send a SWAT team there in the hopes that they will arrest or shoot the victim. In the story I came across, the ransomware group encrypted the systems and stole patient data for a medical facility and threatened to send SWAT teams to the patients that were found in the medical records. The ransomware group does not even need to know how to perform a swatting attack because, you guessed it, there's a swatting as a service platform that will do all that work for you. What a scumbag move.
Real service, that's what we need. Swatting as a service. But honestly, at this point, you think that this was going to be like it's at the point where it's freaking random. No one cares anymore. It's like, hey, we're gonna SWAT anyone that we have a record on, right? It doesn't even matter at this point. The records are everywhere. It might as well just SWAT a random person.
Indiscriminately swatting people.
Give the police officers a job again.
How about we just swat the ransomware people instead?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we just said,
I'm all for that.
SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Not fake.
I don't think the Russian police, I don't think there's a chance that the Russian police have actually the resources for that.
Unless the payout's big enough, then they'll be there.
A slice of bread.
Yeah.
If there's anyone that looks emaciated and needs food, it's you, dude. Your eyes are sucking right now.
What the hell?
Well, I guess, as the champion of the bodybuilding, the heavyweight.
Save your BS for later. We'll talk about this. You're not the champ. You're not the champ.
Bodyweight champion.
False.
Yeah. Well, if there's something to be said about their creativity, this is definitely it. I think there was a report released by Coveware that said ransomware payment, the odds of a ransomware, the percentage of people paying the ransoms is at its lowest ever. It's at about 29% right now. So the ransomware operators out there have to find creative ways to get people to pay, or else their whole business model falls apart.
Yeah, if you got something to lose, I think you'll eventually pay. Or I guess if you have something to hide, in this case.
We all have something to hide. The question is, are we okay with it being exposed, right? So
whether or not it's worth the ransom. What's worse, the fine and the negative publicity or the payout?
What are you trying to hide, Glenn?
I don't know.
But at least now we know Brian's probably hiding another 25 erotic stories on his computer.
His penthouse letter collection.
No, that's way long ago.
Have you heard of?
I am a published author.
Yeah, have you heard of Dear Abby?
Brian, did you save that issue? Do you still have a copy of that?
No, that's long gone, man.
Can you look that up in like microfiche at a library or something like that? Is that possible?
I think it's probably possible. I think it was 98, maybe.
No episode, no issue, year, title of
probably identify the cover.
Yeah,
just kidding. Yeah.
Also, why the library, Glenn? I doubt the library has that type of magazines.
Hey, maybe not in Canada, but in the U.S. it's an open thing.
Glenn's library has that apparently.
Freedom of information, man. I don't care.
Why don't you just hire one of these ransomware groups to hack into Penthouse and then see if they can download the digital issue of that? I'm sure they have it archived somewhere.
There you go.
Right now, people are frantically looking for it.
Wayback Machine.
Read the story.
Yeah. Penthouse Archive. Are they even a company anymore? Larry Flint, right? Penthouse.
Larry Flint, yeah. His company's still around. I can't remember because there's a lot of consolidation. So I remember Playboy went private. Hugh Hefner retook the company. It used to be publicly traded, funny enough, and then Hugh Hefner made it private, and then. I think the magazine still exists, but it literally is just the articles around because before Hugh Hefner died, he's like, there's so much free pornography out there on the internet and people aren't going to pay to see it in a magazine anymore. So I think he realized that and he tried to pivot it into like a news publication. I think Penthouse might be owned by that Friend Finder site, that digital conglomerate now. You can look that up. I'm pretty sure
You seem to know a lot.
one of you deviants is a
pro.
Yeah,
member of
I just looked it up.
Finder.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It says Penthouse to shutter print magazine. So they're no longer a thing as of January 15th, 2016.
I know a little bit about it because when I was unemployed and I was looking for like IT related jobs, one of the listings I came across was the sysadmin for it was a website called friendfinder.com, but friendfinder.com owns like adultfriendfinder.com, which is like a couples hookup site. And one of the requirements that says, must know Linux, must know command line, must not be uncomfortable viewing adult content, because I guess part of your job is going to be moderating or looking through adult content as part of your sysadmin duties.
You were uncomfortable, weren't you?
I think I was okay with that. It was the must be able to lift 75 pounds without assistance, because I was probably not that strong at the time. Not like the beast I am today.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever read a job listing in which being able to pick something up was the thing that stopped me in my entire life.
Well, yeah, naturally for you.
Yeah, have you ever done physical work like in a warehouse or something, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
not a warehouse, but I worked for a road crew once, chopping down trees and stuff.
How else do you think he got so big?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The weight limit wouldn't have stopped me. I mean, when I did sysadmin work, I racked and stacked 2 4U servers, no problem. But it was just funny that they listed that in the requirement. Like, you have to be able to lift X number of weight without assistance as part of your job duty.
Key to life, knowing your limitations. Way to go, Chris.
Yep.
Victor still can't lift 75 pounds.
I can lift myself up.
That was fine. I benched it back in college. I haven't actually tried to see how much I could bench nowadays. Probably not as much as Brian. Maybe more than Victor. Actually, no, not more than Victor. Maybe more than Glenn.
What? Why are you picking on me?
Yeah, Glenn is old.
What the hell?
Well,
respect your elders.
Brian for obvious reasons. Victor, because of his Instagram profile picture. He's like, for those of you that don't know, Victor's profile picture is just a zoomed in picture of his arms flexing. So by default, it's Glenn.
Victor with the thirst trap.
I don't care what Victor says. No matter how old I look, I still look younger than him. Or how old I am, I still look younger than Victor. So, how do you like that?
Just wait till you turn 60. Then you'll be looking like a 600-year-old.
That's right.
Until you fall off a cliff. All right.
Well, next time we're all together, we should have a weightlifting competition.
Should.
Yeah.
I'll
Followed
pass.
by a 10K run.
I pass.
What's your 10K time, Victor? I bet I could smoke the other two. What's your 10K?
I don't know. I only run in the morning, so I run 3K in 15 minutes. That's my go-to in the mornings.
3K and 15?
Why so slow?
Yeah. I don't know.
Chris is doing the
I'm
calculation.
trying to do the math in my head. Like, I know what 5K is and what 10K
Do the
is.
McDonald's
What's
math.
3K?
He can do a 5K in 15 minutes, just so you know.
That's
not.
like Olympic level, dude. I think that's actually faster than Olympic.
That's
I was
pretty
just trying to
fast,
hype
yeah.
up Chris. He's a fast little
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate
boy.
it.
Yeah. So you think you can smoke us? All right, that's fight talk.
I could
Zenith
definitely
Live.
smoke Brian and Glenn in a 10K for sure.
I don't know.
First off,
1.86 miles.
First off, I would never go enter a 10K race. Period.
Exactly. So I win by default.
My days of doing that are over. But I
Do you
will
think
tell you guys. Go ahead.
6.2 miles. Is that what that is? 10K.
Yeah.
No, so I run 1.86 miles in 15 minutes.
That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah.
Sub 10-minute mile. That's all right. I would expect you to be running closer to like a 6-minute mile. To be honest, man. I'm not even being a jerk. Just your frame, where you're up, altitude. I think you'd be smoking it. So.
Altitude.
But you're running on a treadmill inside and just
Yeah.
staring at a wall, right? Okay. Outside, you'd probably
Yeah.
be quicker.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I bet Glenn at my age probably would have been faster than me. He's just an old man.
Glenn was
now.
super quick. Weren't you running like a 4 or 5 minute mile back in the day?
5 and a 5:05 on my split. So on a 2-mile run. So
Yeah.
would you guys have beaten that? I just want to know. That's my best.
no.
I already
That was my
said I
best.
would
8-minute
have.
mile,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
for me on distance.
Yeah,
That's
18. Yeah, what was I, 18 at that time? Yeah. And then we were running 3 miles. I was running 3 miles in 16. So
Oh
it.
man.
You hear that? You hear that, VDL? He was clapping them cheeks.
The 50s were wild.
the 50s are wild. Oh, man.
The tracks are smaller in the 50s.
Yeah, just
Post-war walks, post-war jogging.
yeah, way better than the was it the Canadian military where they made you walk in less than 2 hours, right, for a mile. That's the requirement to be in the Canadian Special Forces.
No, it was duck, run, and skip and hold hands.
Yeah, that's it. I heard all your
was a pro at that.
I heard all your weapons were like slightly used weapons from France from World War II. Is that true?
Dropped only one time.
Dropped only one time.
Never fired.
Yeah.
Love is stronger than hate.
Yeah.
All right, Victor taking the high road here. For our third topic, you guys may know my saying that if the money's there, we don't care. Well, we now need to add an asterisk to that saying. 3 people have been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department for providing cybersecurity training to the terrorist organization ISIS. If you remember, ISIS is the terrorist organization wreaking havoc primarily in the Middle East and radicalizing people in Western countries to motivate them to carry out their own terrorist attacks. I won't even try to say their names, but they're linked through in the show notes. These 3 individuals created a company called the Electronic Horizons Foundation to teach ISIS members how to launder cryptocurrency, take donations using crypto, spread propaganda online, and use end-to-end encrypted communications. ISIS and their affiliates are heavily sanctioned by the US and other governments, so they have resorted to using cryptocurrency to fund their terrorist activities since they are cut off by the world's banking system.
I was looking at the article and I was like, the names can't be that difficult. And then I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I don't think I could do a really good job saying that.
Yeah, we could say it. I don't think we'll be saying it right.
I make it a point to try to like learn the difficult names because Lord knows, like if you have a name like Mumumin Al Majawi Muhammad Salam, then you probably know more than one language and you're smarter than me. So the least I could do is try to figure out how to say your name.
Yeah.
Well, the second one's called Sarah, so I would just say Sarah.
Yeah, right.
You have that first two, and then you have Sarah.
But it's Sarah Jamal Muhammad Al Saeed, right? And then
Sarah.
I guess Farouk Gazelle. Yeah. Those aren't too bad. I guess it was just the first one.
It's pretty.
Was a
It's
mouthful.
pretty. It's pretty crazy, dude. They basically built a bachelor's degree in terrorism, like in cyber terrorism. They did the full cycle. It's like going from laundering cryptocurrencies to like, having encrypted communications. That's awesome. I mean, it sucks, but it's kind of awesome from that point. They really built a class in, I guess, security for terrorists.
Well, look at the
OPSEC,
company.
terrorist
Look at
OPSEC.
the company name was Electronic Horizons Foundation. Do you guys remember New Horizons? They were kind of like that training center, right, for Microsoft.
You get your certifications.
Yes, I wonder if they made the name sound like New Horizons in order to
Convince people. I'm like, no,
Or
we're
is
a
it-
legit Microsoft shop.
or
that's
did
a
New
legit
Horizons
name.
or did New Horizons actually become Electronic Horizons because they're trying to make up for lost money? So they've evolved.
I read that name, 0 red flags. I'm like, it seems legit.
Yeah.
It's like supporting Microsoft, supporting terrorists. I'm like, is there really a difference there?
It reminds me of Inspire magazine, right? The Al Qaeda magazine. So I remember in the army we used to have the printed versions, and it was just like the same, right? They would have articles that would be like, instead of being normal articles about the normal topic, it'd be like, hey, have you thought about putting a bomb on the train track? Here's how to build a bomb. And it was just those really serious articles in a magazine called Inspire magazine. So it feels very similar.
Names can be deceiving.
Yeah.
I remember it was either Inspire, one of those magazines, where they were teaching terrorist operatives, be it Al Qaeda or ISIS, that says, use FaceTime. FaceTime's end-to-end encrypted. Don't use Skype. Microsoft can read all your Skype messages. When you plan your terrorist attacks, use iMessage, use FaceTime, use WhatsApp, because they're all encrypted.
Is anyone surprised that the U.S. Treasury figured this out? It wasn't the CIA or the FBI or the NSA.
I wouldn't put it past. It's that saying, follow the money. I'm sure they
I
had
guess.
some help with some of those 3-letter agencies. It's usually the Treasury Department that has some bite.
Well,
What is the purpose of the U.S. Treasury?
counterfeit? Right.
That's the Secret
Counterfeiting.
Service.
Yeah, it's Secret Service. Why is the Secret Service in charge of counterfeiting?
Because they were created after the U.S. Civil War, when the U.S. economy was in chaos and counterfeiting was off the charts. That I don't know if it was because they wanted to destroy the economy of the North, or is it because basically the Confederate States of America didn't exist anymore, all their cash was worthless, and people were just rampant counterfeiting right after the U.S. Civil War.
That still doesn't explain why the Secret Service, because their detail is to protect the president, right? And
it was the other
But they
way.
started.
They
Yeah.
started
Yeah,
as anti-counterfeiting, and then they became the presidential protection.
Gotcha.
Right. You guys pay so much taxes. So
As
many
much
good
as you.
services.
Like pot kettle black, Victor.
Yeah, exactly. I bet you paid twice as much for that bike just in taxes alone.
And I'm proud of it.
Oh gosh.
All right, just
I'm not
remember,
crying.
the IRS is the people who finally put away Al Capone. The FBI couldn't do it. The attorney generals couldn't do it. It's the IRS that finally got Al Capone in jail.
Wasn't it tax evasion?
Tax evasion.
got him
You
for?
do not mess
Yeah.
with the IRS.
Yeah. Do you
Right,
think he was mad? He was like, whoa, really? This is what I'm getting arrested for? You gotta be kidding me.
Who's my accountant?
Yeah.
That guy's fired.
It's like, I want his family dead. I want his house burnt to the ground.
All right, for our last topic, it will be a rotating topic every week. This week, we're going to talk about the body weight fitness challenge, and I'm anticipating this to be a pretty lively discussion.
Well, I know for sure I didn't make it, so.
So we are recording in February. So the two challenges we had going, so the first was Dry January, and the second is the Body Weight Fitness Challenge. They have both come to an end.
Thank goodness. Oh my gosh. I'm still going to continue to exercise, though, because I got to make up for the 10 or 15
lost
days
days.
that I was sick. Yeah.
To recap, Dry January is when you refrain from drinking alcohol in the month of January. The Body Weight Challenge was Brian's idea to motivate the four of us on the call, and our listeners to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and 20 pull-ups each day in January. I took it as motivation to live healthier, but Brian changed it and made it a competition without telling any of us.
I know. What the heck was that
What are you
about?
talking about? What do you like? The whole thing was to do these things. Like, what do you mean it was a competition from the beginning?
And then fit shaming us when we didn't do stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean,
Yeah,
in
that's-
Glenn's defense, he's no quitter, right? He's gonna keep drinking. He's gonna keep slouching. He ain't no quitter.
That's right, damn it. And I tell you this is the last time I ever do anything dry for a period of time, because that's a guaranteed way that I know how I got COVID, was because I let dry January kick in.
So let me interject before we talk about dry January. This past weekend when we went skiing, I also went to the Great Wolf Lodge. I told you guys in the group chat. And you can think of it the Great Wolf Lodge. It's a giant indoor pool with hundreds of people, urine content in the pool off the charts, at least 75+%. But it was just warm and moist and just a cesspool of bacteria and viruses. I thought for sure I was going to get sick. But it's been at least 5 days since I've been there, and I'm still 100% healthy without, and might I add, without the need for my Tito's prophylactic.
Yes! I am invincible!
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, what's your point? What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Look at me, I spent a buttload of money to go swim in the winter.
So they had chlorine. Yeah, I know.
Chris is like, look at me, guys. I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah. I went swimming
still
and then
COVID-free.
went swimming, and then I turned around and went skiing. That's how my life is, right? So
I'm just saying, I'm still COVID free. That's the whole point of the story. I thought for sure I was going to catch it there. Like, you could literally taste the COVID in the air, but
I think what saved you
to dodge it.
I was hoping you would.
Yeah, I think what saved you is the fact that you wore your mask while you were swimming, right? Is that? I remember seeing a picture about
I
that.
did not wear the mask while I was swimming, Glenn. There were people doing that though. Like, could you imagine the crap Brian would give me if I did that?
We're gonna have to ask Grace to really find out.
Yeah, for those of you who can't see right now, Chris has a mask as we're doing the podcast.
There's
As
that
always.
filter. All right, body fitness challenge talk. All right, so it was supposed to be motivating for us to get us to work out, and then Brian started shaming us, saying, "Oh, that doesn't count. This doesn't count as a day. I win the competition by default. This doesn't count."
I
Yeah,
thought we
so
were just helping each other out.
So it was a challenge to do it every single day, right? And so Chris immediately failed because right now he actually has his mask on, at least the filter. So Chris failed because he would post his other workouts, and the challenge wasn't the other workouts; it was the 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 body squats, and 20 pull-ups every single day. So Chris is out. And
But
then Glenn,
those other workouts did include 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups.
yeah, not every day. Nope, false. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You were supposed to track it, do it, kiss my butt. You can kiss BDL's butt as well because you didn't do it. So I was talking to my wife about this. He's explaining to her like Glenn's methodology. I'm like, why he didn't work out? He got COVID. I explained he's like, hey, Tito's has always kept him healthy. And she's like, oh, so he got a cold and he had the shakes. I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. She goes, honey, he didn't have COVID. He was detoxing.
I can see where this is
The
going.
withdrawal. You got the shakes.
So
I love your wife. She gets it.
yeah. So right away, all right, Glenn's the next loser. And so then it comes down to, yeah. So then it's me versus VDL. He claims, even though his fitness app doesn't show it, he's trying to show his text messages. Right. And so I'll give it to him. Maybe he did work out that one day. But I will also say that you guys don't know this, but the TV show, The Biggest Loser called VDL and said, hey, we want you to be on the show. And VDL was like, hey, I don't need to lose weight. They're like, yeah, we know. You're just the biggest loser. Anyways, that's it. I whatever. I think it was a good time. I'm just kidding. I think we're all winners at the end of the day. VDL, you're great support for letting me call you the biggest loser. Chris, I still think you kind of suck. I don't know. And Glenn, I do believe he had COVID, but I think it's really funny that you're detoxing.
And honestly, Brian, more power to you, right? Because you lost some weight. Unfortunately, I did not because I was already fit. But more power to you, dude.
Well, no. Number one, you were malnutrition. Let's be real. Like his eyes are sunken in, and every time he posts a picture of himself going to the gym, there's no one there. It's not that people in Canada are healthier than the people in the U.S. It's because no one works out because they have no food. They have no energy over there. They're too broke to do it. Malnourished. Thank you.
They're still trying to find their food in the wintertime.
And it's hard to when you're vegan on top of all that. So.
Yeah. Well, when your national food was it French fries and poutine?
Maple syrup.
Yeah, it's not a good day. Like, people will starve.
All the good things, man.
Yeah.
Poutine and maple syrup is awesome.
When was the last time you had either one of those things?
Like 2 hours ago.
Justin, look, he hasn't eaten it. Look at it. He's admitting he doesn't even eat it.
No, I love poutine. I love maple syrup.
No, what did you have for lunch? Don't lie.
I had a veggie burger.
Oh, God. It's
God, I definitely lost all respect for you now. What the heck?
A veggie burger. Wow.
Yeah.
Why don't you just eat a salad? Isn't that the same thing? The heck?
No, you get the patty, you get the halloumi cheese, you get the veggies, the bread. It was awesome.
So we are by far the most progressive podcast on the planet. I mean, look at us.
I mean, by far.
We are men,
Yep.
and we got VDL here just showing up and doing weirdo stuff.
And
we love him for it. And we love him for
We
it.
do.
Yeah, so for my end, weight update, I weighed myself last night on the last day of the challenge. I ended the challenge the exact same weight that I started at. So all the working out and all the detoxing was for naught because I weigh exactly the same.
You know what does taste good is the vodka and the pre-workout. That works out really good. It's a great drink.
Yeah.
You guys should try it.
So you get an upper and a downer, and then they counteract each other.
That's right.
Did we all not actually drink this whole time? Did anyone actually give in?
I drank because I didn't know it was a dry thing. I honestly wasn't even aware of it.
When did you realize that? How far in did you realize that it was dry January?
Oh, like 3 weeks in? But I rarely drink, right? I rarely drink, so I'll probably have, 4 beers this month.
I think I had a drink for my mom's birthday, but that was it. So
Was it a vegan beer?
Yeah.
Has to be. Yeah, chicken beer sucks, dude.
No, it was a kombucha with alcohol, right? Fermented something.
It's kombucha that went too far, then it fermented into alcohol.
Look, he's laughing. It's like
drink that Pruno VDL, some prison wine.
That's it.
But the only thing that matters is who won the bodyweight challenge, Chris.
Well, Brian self-proclaimed himself the winner because he's questioning your integrity and saying you didn't actually work out when you did work out.
Yeah.
No, I think it's if we go by that, we all I guess we can say the three of us did work out every single day. I don't know the three of us actually did exactly what we were supposed to do. I think that's just me and Victor, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I got the best time, so.
Did you actually get it the best time? I don't know that you ever showed that. What was your time?
4:41.
Victor sent it to me privately because he wanted to one-up you live on the show and see your reaction.
Yeah, 4:41, man.
Really?
Dude,
for
that's
100,
awesome,
100, and 100? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And 20.
You beat me by almost 2 minutes, man. That's awesome. Good job.
Yeah,
Well, he is lighter than you, so that didn't have to move as much.
You're like 40 years younger. But I will also say that I don't know that speed on that is actually the best. So I did it again today just because I think it's like a great warm-up. And I think time under, was it maybe tension, is a far better exercise than just like blowing through it super quick. I don't know if you're just like
Not for
cheating.
me.
No? You think
It was the worst. Yesterday was the worst by far. The 100 squats right off the bat, like it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. At 75 or 80, I was
It's like blow out your quads.
sweating?
Yeah, it was much harder. I would say that it's the opposite. While breaking it down 25, 25 or 33, 33, 34 was a lot easier than doing what I did yesterday. It was super fast, don't get me wrong, but it was super hardcore, difficult.
But if you would have done, if you would do 100 straight, but at a controlled pace, like you're like all the way down, all the way back up, a little bit slower, I think that would be exponentially harder than just trying to crank out 100 as fast as you can.
Yeah, so Brian's right. So there's time under tension. Like if you do 100 squats and you pop up and down like a jack in the box, that's much easier than doing 100 squats and taking 3 seconds down and then 3 seconds up.
Oh, yeah,
that'd be way harder.
Sure. Yeah, okay. I agree.
So are you guys going to keep doing the body weight stuff like me, or are you done?
We gotta try to, now that I know that it's a competition, Brian.
Well, it's no longer a competition, jerk. I'm just thinking, I wholeheartedly think that it's just, I think it's a great like warm up to your exercise. It just kind of activates everything. I will say that out of everything, probably the pull-ups started to suck about halfway through the course of things. I was like, man, I'm actually kind of getting a little tired of this.
Okay, so one measure of my success is when people can notice the physical changes. So like when I send pictures of to you guys in the group chat, I used to be really big, and then when I trim down, people are like, oh, you look like you lost weight. So I was thinking like, well, no one's really noticed that in the last 30 days. But in my defense, it is in the dead of winter here, and I'm always wearing a really thick jacket or a baggy sweater.
So you sent your picture to Penthouse Forums?
Oh,
Dear Penthouse, this is my first time and I've never done this before. So maybe I'll continue it until the spring and then we'll see.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel better. I mean, like I said, even though I had a lapse, I feel better. I did stop eating burgers in the middle of the night, though, at some point. But yeah, I haven't done burgers in the middle of the night because of COVID. So I couldn't even go out. So that's normally my
I feel
thing.
like the 100% opposite of Victor, and all I ate was meat the entire time.
The carnivore diet.
Yeah.
I did straight carnivore. I was, brain fogginess is gone. The energy, the workout's not as explosive because you don't have all those carbs kind of hanging out. But overall, it was great, man. I'm going to keep it going. I thought I would just do it for the month. I'm going to carry it into February at least and see where
Yeah,
it goes.
you told us
So
you
no
lost a bunch
carbs,
of
right?
weight.
No carbs, right? Right, Brian?
Yeah, 0 carbs. Yeah.
You lost a
Except
bunch
much-
of weight.
Right now I'm 236. I started at 252. And so we'll
Yeah,
see where I go. from
14
here.
pounds in a month. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pound every 2 days.
Yeah, but
he's
we'll
just
see.
dehydrated.
Well, here's the crazy part. No, I'm not dehydrated. I drink a crazy amount of water too. But no, we want to do this thing this summer when we go on our little family vacation, and so we booked like this horseback ride, and to do it, I have to be 220 or less. I'm like, you mother effers! Like I'm a well-fed American, so I'm gonna have to get down to like 215 before we leave to be able to ride this horse. They're probably gonna kick me out.
You have to cut weight like a UFC fighter. Just go in a sauna, take lots of laxatives.
Or just, ramp up to 260 and put the horse on your back.
There you go. A real man would do
Uno
that.
Dress
Assert
card.
dominance.
Yeah, I will say getting to 252 is actually kind of hard. Like that wasn't easy to get that. That was from June to December was an insane amount of eating to get there and
believe
lifting
it.
super heavy. Yeah.
All right. Well, we continue to get great comments about our dad joke of the week.
Dad joke of the week.
This week, our guest Victor is up.
Yeah. So by now you know that I used to work at Staples and I got fired. But
Yeah.
I also used to work in a shoe recycling shop, but it was soul destroying, so I left.
Soul is right.
Wah.
Wamp, wamp.
All right. To wrap things up, HP can go F yourself.
Go yourself. Is that clear?
Ransomware is combining forces with SWATing as a service. Don't provide IT support to terrorists. And Brian takes fitness very seriously. That's all I have for this week. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. You can find us all on LinkedIn. Links will be in the description. Follow us on Instagram at PEBCAK Podcast. thank you to all our listeners and subscribers who rate us 5 stars in the iTunes Store and Spotify and left us a review. We appreciate you all spreading the word to help grow the show. The best way to find us is to search for the PEBCAK Podcast in your favorite podcast listening app. My co-hosts Brian Nietzsche and Glenn Medina, and our guest Victor DeLuca, I'm Chris Louie. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all next weekend. As always, have a nice day.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, family.
Have a nice day.